All right, it all comes down to this. Week 18, the last week of the regular season. We're not making the playoffs. The Vikings aren't making the playoffs. It's a meaningless game to some, to most, but it's not meaningless to us or the Vikings. If we beat the Vikings, we may very well have the number one pick in the draft. If the Vikings beat us, we might fall to maybe the third pick in the draft. So it has a huge bearing on where we potentially are drafting from. And ultimately, we've talked about this before, but we are looking to draft Dominique McKenzie, the corner out of Duke, at 6'1", 200 pounds. Looking at his stats, I want you guys to just see why we want to get him. He's got B zone, A press, A catching. He is a man corner, which means that his man coverage has to be better than his zone. At worst, it's a B, but it's most likely going to be an A. Looking at his physicals, the only thing that's not great is his jumping is solid to good, his excel is solid to good. Everything else, his agility, his speed, his change of direction, great to elite. His strength is even good to great for a corner. Looking at some of his other things, he has potentially solid awareness. His play rec is okay. His tackling is good. His injury doesn't look that great. His hit power could be fantastic. At the worst case, he has C hit power. Best case, he has A hit power. Could be a solid kick returner. I doubt it with his excel being a little bit lower. But he is the guy we're looking to draft with our top pick. Again, we were looking at Taylor George. We're going to look at him one more time. There's a couple other prospects that we're considering as well, but Dominique is our number one option as a top 3 pick. Taylor George, after fully scouted, is a round 1 to 2 talent. He's got the accuracy. He's got the throw under pressure. At 6'5", he's even got the cannon arm potentially. He's got great to elite throw power. But looking at his other traits, his injury is a B. His juke obviously is not going to be high. His play action is not very high. His carrying is not very high. His stamina is an F. His throw on the run is a C. He has a B break sack, B awareness. He has A trucking, which is actually kind of surprising. But, he's not... he's a great quarterback, but is he a top 5 generational QB? He is not. All right, here we go. Last game of the regular season is at home before we go into the offseason, looking at free agents and potentially looking at our draft. Hyatt on the return gets it up to the 30-yard line. Had a chance to maybe make something more out of it. But Zach Wilson is getting his final start of the season, and he is coming off a very good performance, 3 TDs to only 1 interception. Can he, and now at 10 touchdowns and 10 picks and 1,800 passing yards, can he secure himself the start at quarterback for next season? We will see. Baker is still, on the team. Baker could very well start. Zach Wilson has not shown us anything that really stands out. On the carry, Rashad White gets blown back for a loss of 3. Obviously, Zach Wilson has the potential. That's what we're looking at, why we're starting him. Wow, already an X factor. Oh my God. He's got the potential. He's very young. Irv Smith finally gets open, holds onto it for the first down. Baker, he's going to be 29 next year. Not probably the long-term QB. He's going to start regressing eventually. Mike Evans on the short out is there. We finally get him another catch. Didn't get a lot of attempts last game. Only getting 3 catches for 30. But does a lot with the yard. I almost said yak. He does a lot with the ball after catching it, though. Picking up the first. 1st and 10 now, make it from the 36-yard line. We got time to make this throw. Mike Evans back right of the end zone, and it's super inaccurate. And that's sort of the concern with Zach Wilson. Sometimes he just has these errant throws that have no chance of being caught by anybody on our team, at least. 2nd and 10. Rashad White on the carry. Brings it back right. Can't escape from... I'm not even sure who that was. I like this play for Irv. Could be open in the seam. And he's not coming open very quickly. We're going to throw it off to Rashad White. Rashad White's got a one-on-one. Can he break it for the first down pickup? He can't. It's going to be 4th and 2. On 4th and 2, we're going for it. I'm going to give Rashad White a short out opportunity. And he's wide open. Just got to hold on to it, and he does. Rashad White down to the 14-yard line. Another big grab from him. Big-time grab. Big-time grab. Just got to stop saying that so often. We're going to try a QB draw. This has screwed us up before. And Zach Wilson just doesn't have that burst to explode through on a QB draw. Even though he's got 83 speed, 88 excel, he's not fast enough, I guess. We're going to move out of empty and just do a run up the middle with Rashad White. They only got 1 linebacker back there. Got some decent blocks. He's got Harrison Smith still back there. I like spacing on the right side. I like Rachaad White on the left. Got decent blocks, and it gets tipped away, almost gets intercepted. And now 4th and 7, we're taking the field goal. All right, Suckup should easily make this. Almost gets blocked, but it is going to go in. Kirk Cousins up to 22 touchdowns and 14 interceptions with 4,300 passing yards, which means that Justin Jefferson has not had the craziest season. Kirk Cousins only has 22 TDs. Kirk might have been injured too. I'm not entirely sure. Got Diabate in here with Devin White. On the carry from Dalvin Cook, he shifts back to the right, but we're there quickly. The run D is looking way better these last couple of games. I've said that a couple times, and then all of a sudden we just stop being able to stop anything in the ground game. But 2nd and 9. Let's not jinx ourselves. Let's get another stop. It's going to be a pass this time. 2nd and 9. We're over the middle. We're on it. Can we force incompletion? No. Ricks cannot do it. Bring in a zone blitz from the left. Might be a run. This still could work out. Yeah, Winfield dropping down. It's a pass. We're on the short out. It's not there. Nice hit that time by Devin White, throwing TJ Hawkins into the ground. We're going to come out and cover 2. The only problem with this is that we got Joe Tryon on Dalvin Cook. Got to help on him if Dalvin Cook does run a route, and he's going to. We don't have to worry about it too much. Can we force incompletion? Justin Jefferson still catches it with Carlton Davis all over his back. Does not matter. All right, we're bringing a man blitz. We're sending Devin White, one of our best blitzers on the team, one of our best pass rushers. Joe Tryon's trying to get to the outside with Dalvin Cook. Oh, we miss it. Devin White can't make the tackle. Winfield finally brought Dalvin Cook down along with Carlton Davis. Got Jaquan Brisker dropping down. And it is a run again. We're there this time, stopping Dalvin Cook for a 1-yard pickup, trying to prevent Dalvin Cook from getting into X Factor. We've seen how bad it can be when running backs get their X Factor against us. They're basically unstoppable. Jonathan Taylor absolutely killed us. We're watching over the middle. We're there. Oh, Justin Jefferson's trying to stay in bounds, but he can't do it. And I'm kind of surprised that this team that's almost an 85 overall isn't in the playoffs and, in fact, has the worst record. I don't know how that happened. Kirk Cousins gets taken down. Montez is there, and so is Zach Sealer, making it 4th and 17. And they're going to have to settle for a field goal themselves and likely tie it up here as long as they make it. Let's see if they can. And it is going to be good. All right, I don't even know what they call it in the league. If you've seen the league and you're still watching this episode, let me know. Jalen Hyatt almost got a good return there. It goes down the 32. But yeah, if you've seen the league and you remember what the the worst 2 teams play for, tell me in the comments because I kind of forgot what it was called. I know that the winner is trying to win the Shiva Bowl, but the loser is trying to win what? Rachaad White with the carry, picking up 5. Making it 2nd and 5, and that's going to be the end of the first. All right, we are sending Hyatt on a go. They might have safety help from Harrison Smith, but the thing is, Harrison Smith is so slow, he's not going to be able to help. He's actually dropping down, so Jalen Hyatt is the one-on-one. It's underthrown because of the pressure, and oh, Hyatt can't hold on to it. Can't pull off a Jamison Williams from last game where he catches it off the tip. Pause. Make it 3rd and 5. We are going to do a play-action fake orbit screen. Herb Smith could be wide open on the post. And it looks like he will be. Oh, whoa! Why was that so inaccurate? Kendricks gets the interception. I don't even think there was pressure. I didn't even do any leading or anything. If anything, I led forward, but... So, yeah, Irv Smith is about to be wide open. And Irv Smith has got all this separation, and he does not lead him at all. He throws it right to Eric Kendricks. All right, well, that was a drive killer. And I promise you, we are not intentionally tanking against the Vikings right now to try and get the #1 overall pick. I mean, I've thought about it, but that was not what happened there. On the sweep, Thielen, kind of an interesting receiver to use for a sweep at his age right now. But they lose 1 yard on the play, and they're trying to do some tanking of their own, making it 2nd and 11. We're over the middle. We're covering it. It's not there. Oh, underneath. He missed the tackle. Justin Jefferson finally goes down with some really bad tackling by me. And they're now down at the 33. And again, you know, like, we're not really fighting for anything in particular. It's important for us to lose, I guess. That's, like, the one thing we can think about. But we're actively not trying to lose while we're playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, I've talked about it before, but it's the difference between Coach Swish and GM Swish. GM Swish is saying lose, lose, lose. Coach Swish is not trying to lose this game no matter what. Even though, God, our tackling is terrible. God, our tackling is terrible. Down at the 15. You gotta make sure that, you know, when we're in 3-4, Logan Hall is not going to see the field all that often. We've got to make sure he does. Justin Jefferson is brought down by Devin White and Jamel Dean. Again, Justin Jefferson has a lot of speed, but so does Devin White. Devin White can keep up with him on those sweeps. That is one of the best things about Devin White, I feel like, is his ability to just cover a lot of, like, left to right sort of plays. Underneath the throw to Thielen, and I think that was Devin White again making the tackle. We're going to drop into cover 2. We're going to drop back a little bit. We've got Brisker in coverage. And nothing showing that it's open. And, yeah, they're out of bounds, making it 4th and 7. Taking another field goal from the 12-yard line to take a 3-point lead. And a very uneventful game so far. Just a lot of field goals, no TDs. We'll see if we can break that streak. I feel like Jalen Hyatt had that mismatch, especially with Harrison Smith playing deep coverage. And we'll see if we can abuse it. Yeah, we're going to give Hyatt a chance on the double move. Over the middle, he's wide open. We can't get the throw off in time. We're under pressure. And Diabate is going to be out for the rest of the game. And he's going to be injured in the offseason as well with a torn labrum. Hate to see it. Again, we don't have any players that are under contract that we're looking to trade actively that we need to worry about benching. And another overthrow, this time to Mike Evans, making it 3rd and 10. Zach Wilson not having a great performance so far. Having a lot of really bad throws. Very much of a 180 versus last game. Last game, he was just on the money for the most part. I don't want to run play action with Rashad White. We're going to send him out wide. And Irv Smith could get wide open on the corner route. Otherwise, Mike Evans could get open on the crosser. We're going to throw it up to Mike Evans. And we got it over the head of Eric Kendricks just barely. And Mike Evans comes down with a grab. His second catch of the game down at the 40. All right, we are going to get the ball to Rashad White on this play. On the carry, Rashad White can't do anything with it. Like, just didn't really burst through the hole. Picks up 2 yards in the play, gets arm tackled. And I feel like that's not what we usually do on runs. We kind of just give it up. Mike Evans holds on to it, picks up the first. His 3rd catch now, up to 50 receiving yards already in the first half. And at the end of the season, after this game, we'll check out the final stats for this season, seeing who did what. We didn't really show much of that. Usually in our Lions franchise, we show it each quarter of the season. So after the first, 3 or 4 games, and then after, the next 4 games, throwing underneath to Rashad White, he's wide open. And he picks up the first and breaks the tackle, going down to 35. But yeah, we haven't really shown that in this franchise so far, but yeah, we'll show the stats at the end of the season, and we'll see kind of who played well and who did not. Godwin could be wide open on this play. We're going to send it over the top. He's got his man beat, but another inaccurate throw. Godwin has the one-on-one versus Bynum. Bynum is shaking his finger like he even did anything on the play. But just another bad throw from Zach Wilson. It's like, I mean, the Vikings do have some momentum, but Zach Wilson just seems to have no confidence in this game right now. And Rashad White breaks the tackle. Has the opportunity to break another one, but goes down after picking up 0 yards on the play. Now up to 6 carries for only 8 yards. It seems to be kind of like Rashad White and Zach Wilson have regressed back to their midseason form. The last couple of games they've been playing really well, but it seems like they're kind of falling back into old habits. Rashad White's not doing a great job running. Admittedly, the blocking has not been great. Irv Smith could be wide open on the out, and he is, and oh my God, he can't hold on to it. Harrison Smith comes in and almost just decapitates him, making it 4th and 10. All right, well, I didn't even pick a play, didn't even press the A button, and instead we're punting it. So we're going to try to coffin kick them, and we didn't coffin kick them. It's going to be down, and they're going to have it from the 20-yard line. Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't let us kick the field goal there. Maybe the game is trying to get us a tank, but from the 20-yard line, the Vikings are going to start with 1:50 remaining. All 3 timeouts. We'll see if they do anything. Underneath, Hawkinson's wide open, but a good tackle from Carlton Davis. keeping them inbounds. The clock is running. The Vikings elect not to use a timeout. They're probably going to start using them pretty soon, though. Drop back into coverage. We're all over it. Over the middle. Thielen is brought down by Devin White. And I'm expecting they're going to start using their timeouts pretty soon. And we'll see if they get a playoff before they call their first timeout. Usually they kind of bug out around 1:03. They're probably they got the playoff in time. Throwing it underneath. It's going to be caught. And the Vikings still have not used a timeout. All right. After their first timeout, finally they call one after that last catch. It's going to be cover 3. Play action. We're covering everything over the middle with Gilbert. Throwing it underneath. Dalvin Cook goes out of bounds for a 4-yard pickup. And that is kind of like some chump change right now. I'm not too worried about a 4-yard pickup. They're trying to get into field goal range, though. We're going to bring a blitz off the left side with Jaquan. See if Jaquan can get his, I think his second sack of the season, potentially. See if he can get through. We're watching the short out. Thielen fumbles it. Winfield picks it up. Winfield has the chance to return. Devin White gets the block. And if Winfield didn't spend so much time just staring down Thielen on the play, he probably could have brought that back for a TD. All right, we're coming out in a heavy run formation. 4 tight ends on the field. Really, 3 tight ends and a fullback. Rachaad White does nothing. 2nd and 13 with 40 seconds left in the first half. We're going to send Hyatt on the go. It's not there. We got Godwin underneath. A good throw to the outside. Godwin breaks a tackle and gets out of bounds, saving our 1 timeout, which is a pretty clutch. Because now it is 3rd and 5, and we don't have to worry about trying to get out of bounds on another play. We got Irv Smith on a corner again. What? This is not the play I picked. All right, this is weird. We're going to send Irv Smith on a go. I think he'll actually be wide open. Over the top. He does catch it. He's just got Harrison Smith on him down at the 19. We're going to call that timeout with 30 seconds remaining. And I like this jailbreak screen for Mike Evans, but I don't like that he's probably going to stay in bounds on it. We're going to give Godwin a corner route if he wins that. Otherwise, we're throwing it over the top. Oh, Irv Smith was wide open, but it was an overthrow. I like this to potentially get open. It's play action. Irv Smith is in motion. I think Godwin could get open in the back right corner. As long as the blocks hold up. Godwin over the top. He's just got to get into the end zone. And he's down at the 1. We got to go no huddle. We got 10 seconds left. We can probably get this off in time. We'll probably be fine. Okay, we got pressure immediately. We get the block. Just got to throw it. Up to Irv Smith. He drops it. All right, we had to snap it pretty quickly. Great block by Rachaad White on this play. But after the block, spinning out and making this throw cross-body, a perfect dart to Irv Smith. Irv Smith, no one's on him. Drops it. All right, we are taking our points. We're going to tie this up before half. I guess the Vikings were expecting that we were going to go for it, but we were going to go for the tie and go into half 6-6. Again, looking at the middle part of the field, that is what we are struggling the most to cover in this game and pretty much every game that we play. Outside of Devin White, we just don't have a great coverage backer. Justin Jefferson is brought down. Diabate is not the greatest coverage linebacker. Obviously, a little bit more of a run stopper. Good tackle on Justin Jefferson on that play, though. 1st and 10 now. But like I was saying, yeah, everything, 10 to 20 yards out is just free. We're watching the middle. Again, another catch by Hawkinson. Winfield not doing a great job of stepping in front and forcing the incompletion. TJ Hawkinson's got that size. He just box out Winfield. Winfield is only, 5'9". Watching Hawkinson on the short out, but there's another short out this time to Justin Jefferson. Ricks has got a big mismatch. Matched up with the best wide receiver in the NFL. It's going to be tough. We're going to try to bait this throw to Justin Jefferson. He's got the one-on-one in press with Carlton Davis. And instead, he throws it underneath to Thielen, and Ricks can't get there. Finally tackled down by Logan Hall on the play, making it 1st and 10. But like I'm saying, man, we just don't have the greatest coverage. We're going to bring in Gillespie for a couple plays. Again, one of our backup safeties that is actually pretty good as a sub linebacker. He's kind of like on a similar trajectory as Diabate. He's just a little bit shorter. Throwing it underneath. Thielen gets taken down by Devin White. Cut out from underneath him. Making it 2nd and 4. And again, this is the battle of the 2 worst teams. I'm about to look up in a second here exactly what that name was in the league of the battle for the worst spot. All right. I didn't even have to look it up. I just remembered it was the Sacco. This is basically the Sacco of the NFL. It's the 2 worst teams playing in the last game of the season for the #1 pick. I feel like I'm Taco. And Justin Jefferson, another grab on the curl, finally gets taken down. And Kirk Cousins, only 4 incompletions so far. A lot of short completions. Jefferson up to 50 receiving yards. And if you ever watch The League and you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment. I loved that show. Gillespie can't make the tackle. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's about fantasy football. I would definitely check it out. It's very... might not be your style of comedy, but it's like super vulgar. But I love it. Dalvin Cook is brought down, and it's going to be 3rd and 4. Can we hold them to another field goal? We will see. So far, Gillespie's come in, and I don't feel like he's really had any impact, but maybe he has, just inadvertently. The middle is covered. God, can we force an incompletion on a curl? Justin Jefferson is basically like unstoppable on these curls. There's nothing we can do. Doesn't matter where we are. He's just going to catch it. 1st and 10. Thielen's in the slot. We got Eli Ricks on him. This is a great matchup, I feel like, for him. And Dalvin Cook has got some great blocks. Brisker can't make the tackle, and Dalvin probably got an X factor off of that. Gets into the end zone for the touchdown. The first touchdown of the game for either team. All right, we're coming out, and we got to match what the Vikings just did late in the 3rd quarter at this point. I like Godwin on the outside. He gets his feet inbounds. A great grab by Godwin. A really solid throw, too, from Zach Wilson on the money, in the exact spot where the DB couldn't make a play on the ball. And try another run for Rachaad White, who has struggled in this game for sure. The good blocks on the outside, following Mike Evans, and maybe should have popped it outside. We were hoping that we could cut it back in and take it all the way. But on 2nd and 5, after a nice run, we're going to try to fool the defense a little bit with a play-action throw. Irv Smith has got a corner. He's got a one-on-one with Eric Kendricks. It's over the top. It's a perfect ball. And Irv Smith with his 3rd explosive TD in the last 4 games. When he runs a corner or when he gets the one-on-one against a linebacker, he is making plays, man. I did not expect that out of a 6'2" tight end. But and he's not even it's not like he's got 90 speed. He's only got 86 speed. But yeah, just a playmaker, man. All right, coming out in our nickel defense that we've been running that has been, I don't know if I would say successful, but has been pretty solid. Minnesota's got 50 rushing yards so far. Hall there to make the stop. And that's what we need to focus on now is, yes, the short passes have been annoying, but the running game has been kind of like the backbreaker. And we got to slow down Dalvin Cook. 9 carries for 50 yards. Watching over the middle. We're not there. Dalvin Cook grabs it. We're there to make the tackle with Devin White, though, and Gillespie is there for emotional support. Now 3rd and 7. Jumping back into cover 3. We got to get our eyes on Justin Jefferson. I'm helping over with Gillespie all the way. I'm watching it. The short under is there. We're watching over the middle. Nothing is open. Can we get some pressure? He throws it short to Hawkinson. We're there with Jaquan Brisker, and we force the punt, and we finally get a stop. A complete stop. And they're going to have to punt it away. And with a tie game with a minute left in the 3rd, anything can still happen at this point. And this is the determination of whether or not we draft Dominique McKenzie or we draft like an edge. And we don't really need an edge, I feel like, right now. I feel like we're pretty set up along the D line. We don't absolutely need a corner. We've got great corners, but I really, truly feel that McKenzie could be a generational cornerback. I think it's an actual possibility. So in terms of need, it's not there, but in terms of value, I think he's got the best value. Rachaad White on the carry. Can't do anything with it. I'm not going to lie. We may need a damn running back. Rachaad White does not feel like he's there right now. It's not like he wants the starting job. Chris Godwin on the bubble. Picks up the first. Goes down at the 43-yard line. It's just not even fun to run the football. I mean, partially the interior O-line is pretty bad. I think if the interior was better, things would be going better as well in the run game. But Rachaad White breaks the tackle and fumbles, and at the end of the 3rd quarter, the Vikings and Zadarius Smith fall on the ball and regain possession. It has been brutal, man. A complete regression by Rachaad White in this game. He's had a couple of very solid performances. This is not one of them. Justin Jefferson on the sweep. Brisker trying to make the tackle finally. Jefferson goes down after a 3-yard pickup. Thank God we were able to kind of slow him down a little bit. That jet sweep was not very good. 2nd and 7. We're in cover 2. They're switching formation. They got 3 receivers on the left side. We're going to switch out of cover 2. I don't like the look anymore. Oh, my, we can't do it. We're watching the ends. They're going to throw it to Dalvin over the middle. Can't force the fumble. And it's going to be a first down pickup, I'm pretty sure. After the first down pickup, we're playing cover 1. They're probably going to have some more drags on this play. Unless it's a run again, and it's a run up the middle. Oh, Hall was there, but Gillespie with a nice hit on Cook. Making it 2nd and 4. We're going to drop into cover 2. I'm expecting with the amount of short passes they've thrown, maybe they'll take a deep shot. We'll see. On 2nd and 4, it's a run up the middle. And what is Gillespie doing on that play? He didn't even move. I wasn't even controlling him. He just stood there. All right, we're bringing a zone blitz off the right side. We got 3 receivers out left. And it is a run to the left, and no one is there. Oh, man. They've got a little momentum again. And we're in 3-4, you know. We're trying to get a stop in the run game. And they don't even have Dalvin in right now. 1st and 10. Watching Justin Jefferson at all times. The short out is there, though. This time from their tight end, and Tommy Tremble takes it in for the TD. Again, we have to remind ourselves that this Vikings team somehow has the worst record in the league, but they are not actually a bad team. They're like an 85 overall. I don't know how they lost so many games. The return to the left. Blossom Game's got the block. Hyatt is going to take it all the way for his 2nd kick return touchdown of the season. And a huge response by the rookie. Ties the game 20-20 with 5 minutes left. And Hyatt definitely deserves more consideration for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the role he's played on this team, but most likely is not going to win it, being at like the 8 or number 7 spot, I think, for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But an explosive kick return TD ties the game. All right, 5 minutes remaining. Basically at the same amount of yards. Tie game. They have 80 rushing yards, though, to our 8. We do make the tackle on Dalvin for a stop after he picks up 4 yards. Dalvin averaging 6 yards per carry right now. We're in cover 3. We're watching the outside. We're watching the zig. It's not there, but they throw it to Dalvin. Jamel is there to try to get the tackle. He doesn't make it. Eventually, Dalvin just steps out. All right, coming out in cover 2. Got Devin White over the middle. They got curls everywhere. Finally dropping down is Jamel Dean making the tackle on Thielen. 2nd and 6. Time is starting to count down. I feel like they're trying to waste a little bit of time, get some short completions. We're all over Justin Jefferson. The short completion to Thielen. Thielen picks up the first before going out of bounds. Vita Vea just went out with an injury. They're in empty, though. I'm not sure what to expect. They're bringing a sweep again. It's probably a handoff. Oh, it's a reverse to Dalvin Cook, who finally gets taken down by Carlton Davis. And we're going to bring Vita Vea back in. I mean, why not? It's the end of the season. I'm not too worried about an injury long term. We're going to bring Joey Tryon off the right side. Yeah, Eli Rick dropping back into coverage, covering a couple different guys. Throwing it short. Jefferson picks it up, but it's going to be 3rd and 5 now. Kirk with no interceptions, only 4 incompletions still. And we got to come up with something to slow them down a little bit. We're going to come out in cover 1. Can we get a stop? Justin Jefferson has a one-on-one. Can we? No, we can't force an incompletion again. Jamel Dean getting beat once again. And there's 2 minutes remaining. And they are burning clock quickly. Dalvin's probably going to run here. We're going to move over and shift to the left. Expect an inside zone. And it is there. Up the middle, it's wide open, though. Dalvin is brought down after picking up the first, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. We're going to have to start burning timeouts. All right, here we go. Dalvin is an X factor, too. We're run committing. If they pass, you know this is, like, rigged. Dalvin on the run is brought down for a 1-yard gain, so he keeps X factor. Coming out, still in cover 3, in base 3-4. We know it's run. We're not run committing this time. We cannot afford to get burnt. It's a stretch out to the left. We're trying to get there with Winfield. We're able to get there. Carlton with a nice tackle again. Calling our 2nd timeout. And now on 3rd and 4, we're going to come out in 4-4, which we don't often do. And we're going to bring Diabate in. We're going to bring all of our best run stuffers in. We got Brisker in as a corner. Bringing Winfield over the middle. Not much of a run stopper, but better than having a corner in. Dalvin on the carry is brought down. A big stop by Zach Sealer, and we're using our last timeout. We got 1:40 remaining. They're going to take this field goal, most likely make it, and then we have the opportunity to tie or take the lead. And the question is, do we take the lead or do we take the L last second? In the spirit of football, we should be going for the win at all times. We'll see what happens. We only know what's going to happen once we get there. Jalen Hyatt On the return, oh, steps out of bounds. Zach Wilson, 1 touchdown, 1 interception in this game. Nothing crazy. And I love this post by Mike Evans. It gets knocked away, though, by Za'Darius. I feel like usually that route is there, especially against, like, cover 4. We're going to bring Jalen Hyatt across. We're going to send him on a go, and I think he could be open. This is man. Oh, he's blocking on the play, though. Mike Evans on the corner route, over the top. Can't get to it. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Wirfs is injured. And, probably the most pivotal drive, of the rest of the season here, and we do not have our starting right tackle. We're going to do a QB draw. This is ballsy here. On the QB draw, Zach Wilson gets a block from Godwin, doesn't fumble it, picks up the first, and we're running no huddle. Got Mike Evans on a corner route. Mike Evans beat his man over the top. Mike Evans has got it, and he can't beat Harrison Smith, surprisingly. 50 seconds left. Here we go. Got a corner route from Irv Smith. I like Rachaad White on the outside. Does he get out of bounds? No, the clock is still running. We're going no huddle again. All right, we're trying a bubble screen or an orbit screen. We got to get this off quickly. We can't do it. We got to switch out quickly. Got Godwin across the middle. Got Mike Evans across the middle. Got time. Godwin's wide open. Oh, my God. Wirfs can come back at least. He only has a bruised elbow, but my God, we had the win right there. Again, we're doing whatever we can to win. We're not trying to intentionally lose. And Godwin was wide open, and we couldn't make the throw. We got Irv Smith. He's being covered over the middle. And Mike Evans catches it. He's got to get out of bounds, though. Oh, and that's game. He had to get out of bounds. He couldn't do it. And that's the game, man. We had the throw to Chris Godwin. Had it back right corner, but an inaccurate pass on the run from Zach Wilson. We had to escape out of the pocket, too. We were just starting to face pressure. And we take the L by 3 points, and we may very well have the number 1 overall pick after everything is said and done. We will have to wait and look after the game. We'll check out the stats. We'll check and see if we have the number 1 overall pick. Zach Wilson, 1 TD, 1 pick, 55% completion percentage. Kirk Cousins, 87% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Dalvin Cook with a solid game, averaging 5.5 per carry with 1 TD. And looking at, Rachaad White, 10 carries for 9 yards, man. Brutal. Zach Wilson had 2 carries for 10 yards. And receiving, Irv Smith, 3 catches for 100 yards and a TD. Mike Evans, 5 grabs for 90. Chris Godwin, 4 catches for 50. Some really important catches, though. Rachaad White with 4 catches for 40. So even though Rachaad White didn't do anything on the ground, he did contribute as a receiver. Winfield getting 14 tackles, which is pretty high. Devin White with 12. And half a sack from Sealer and Montez. No interceptions. And the 1 forced fumble from Antoine Winfield. After the game, we have 1 upgrade for Troy Pride, one of our bench corners, who really doesn't get a lot of PT. He gets most of his action on special teams. We're going to boost his man, boosting his awareness, man coverage, and press. All right, we are, again, not going to advance into the offseason, but we're going to take a quick look to see if we have the number 1 pick. Let's look at the standings. Because the Vikings have the head-to-head against us in the same record, and we're tied for the worst record, we should have the worst record in the league, and I think that's what will change in the offseason. We have the same record, but they have the head-to-head. So they should have the number 2 pick, and we should have the number 1 pick. And I think even if the Vikings have the number 1 pick, they may pick Taylor George at quarterback as Kirk regresses further after this season. But, okay, we're going to look at the stats, and then that's going to be the end of the episode. For our stats, Zach Wilson finished with 11 TDs to 11 picks, coming in and playing 7 games for us with 2,000 passing yards. If you combine the passing yards, we were near 5,000 passing yards, a very pass-heavy offense, not a lot of running. Baker with 2,500 yards passing, a higher completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Rushing, Rachaad White ended up leading the team. He had 40 more carries than Leonard Fournette, but he averaged 3 yards per carry, but had 7 rushing touchdowns. So I don't know how to feel about it. He played terribly as a runner, aside from the rushing TDs that sometimes were just force-fed to him. He was a great receiver for us. Fournette, though, was clearly the better runner, averaging almost 5 yards per carry. Receiving-wise, Chris Godwin led the team in total yards and total catches, averaged almost 70 yards per game. 4 receiving touchdowns. Mike Evans almost got to the 10 receiving TD mark, but didn't quite get there in the last 2 games. Hyatt with 4 receiving TDs. 720 receiving yards. Irv Smith came back and had a big impact. Let's look at his stats real quick for the last couple of games. He got injured a number of times, but in the last couple of games, 2 catches for 90 in a TD, 3 catches for 50 in a TD, 3 catches for 100 in a TD. Most of the games he played in, he had a pretty big impact. He just had a couple of games where he didn't do much. But no, he was actually really good for this team. Julio with 14 catches for 250 yards. And Cade Otton was not very good. Statistically, he might be a solid tight end, but like in practice, he's just not really fun to use. I don't feel like he's really super effective. Devin White led in tackles. Jaquan Brisker was second in tackles. Leading in sacks was Montez with 6.5. Devin White with 4.5. Logan Hall with the 4.5 as well. Interceptions, Carlton stayed with 7. Ricks with 2. Brisker with 2. Jamel Dean with 1. Winfield with 1. And Corker with 1. And forced fumbles, Devin White had 3 for most of the season. Diabate with 2, Ricks with 1, Brisker with 1, Jamel Dean, Winfield, Sweat, Vita Vea, Joe Tryon, Zach Sealer, and Charles Snowden. And then defensive TDs, let's look at safeties. Montez had the 1 safety forced. Defensive TDs, though, 1 coming from Ricks, Brisker, Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, and Yusuf Corker. So those are the stats for the season. And we already talked about the season awards. We don't really have anyone that's going to win one except for Carlton Davis, who may very well win the DB for the NFC. He may win the top DB award for the NFC. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the most anticipated episode of the season, without a doubt, the off season, where we will eventually sign some players in free agency and get hopefully a great draft together with the number 1 overall pick. And so I will see you there. Peace, you guys.